It started as an innocuous incident, a small fire in the corner of a factory that was swiftly doused by the fire department, but due to lack of proper training of the employees, the flames inevitably rekindled with a vengeful encore. Around the city, people could see the ebony ribbons of smoke against a once clear blue sky. As people began to poke their worried heads from classes and offices to gaze at the ash-riddened sky, a message appeared on everyone's phone. A mass text from the city stating, "Please remain calm and continue with your day. Our brave firefighters are handling the situation and everything is under control." The citizens of the city were put at ease as the fire still continued to release plumes of dark smoke. As the fire seemed to spread, more messages were sent out updating the residents on the situation and that everything was being done to contain the blaze. Again, they were instructed to continue with their routines and avoid panicking, as that wouldn't help. Despite the assurances in the texts, the fire only intensified, its monstrous tendrils now seeming to lick the heavens, casting a dark cloud of smoke over the city. As time passed, more and more people began to worry once more, as the smoke casted a large shadow threatening to engulf the small city. People began to wonder, were the authorities even looking at the same fire they were? Paranoia crept into the minds of the citizens as they wondered who was sending such misleading texts during this catastrophe. But most importantly, why? Regardless, people listened to the messages instead of their gut feelings and returned to work. No one wanted to be labeled a weirdo. Another message arrived urging everyone to keep about their business as usual. The brave firefighters were on the verge of extinguishing the flames. Hopeful yet skeptical, people continued with their tasks, ignoring their gut feeling, screaming that something was amiss. Amongst some of the citizens, conversations buzzed with speculation about the sender's identity and intentions. Rumors circulated, fueling fear and anxiety. Some began to believe it was a government cover-up, while others thought it might be a twisted prank by a deranged individual. The city had become a breeding ground for paranoia and suspicion, all while the inferno kept growing. As the day passed, the sun became obscured by the thick plume of smoke, plunging the city into an eerie twilight. Panic escalated as citizens tried to evacuate, but yet again another text explained the air outside was deemed too hazardous due to pollution from the relentless fire. The authorities urged people to stay indoors for their own safety, further fanning the flames of fear and uncertainty as smoke began to enter buildings and homes. Inside apartments and homes, people huddled together seeking comfort in the presence of loved ones. The city's skyline, once a vibrant blue, bore now a toxic, dense silhouette against the darkened sun. While the smoke seeped into buildings and the fire was now embracing buildings with its flames inside the city, an unsettling text arrived. "Your resilience in the face of adversity will not be forgotten. Thank you for your cooperation and sacrifice," the chilling message read. The sender remained unknown, leaving everyone to wonder if they were mere pawns in a grander, malevolent scheme. This message sparked anger and despair among the people. Many felt betrayed, questioning why they were being thanked as they endured a hellish nightmare and were not evacuated out of the city when the fires were smaller. The city was no longer engulfed solely by flames, but by an insidious sense of hopelessness and dread. People huddled together, taking in what little air they could manage as the fires engulfed the city to the very last resident indiscriminately. On national news, the fire was reported as a massive outbreak that had consumed the city, despite attempts to control it. The nation watched in horror as footage of the once vibrant city reduced to ashes filled their screens. Questions arose about how such a tragedy could have unfolded under the watchful eyes of authorities who sent out frequent texts to the citizens. The government officials held press conferences, trying to explain their actions and the origin of the mysterious texts. However, their statements were vague and contradictory. Fingers were pointed as news anchors and social media blamed their least favorite political candidates, only to garner attention through sensationalized stories, only adding fuel to the growing suspicion that something far sinister was at play. No one could have imagined how truly deep this went. As the city's ruins lay smoldering, a document emerged containing messages between officials and those well off, and checks containing large amounts of money, a shocking conspiracy emerged. The authorities had purposely kept the citizens from leaving to ensure the roads remained clear, allowing the wealthy and well-connected families to escape the city unimpeded. The sacrificial text was now understood as a sinister acknowledgement of the citizens' lives traded for the escape of the privileged few. The revelation sent shockwaves through the nation, and anger erupted among the surviving citizens. Protests and riots erupted on the streets, demanding justice for the lives lost and the treachery of those in power. But the culprits remained elusive, hidden behind money and legacy, leaving the city to wrestle with its painful past and uncertain future on their own. As days turned into weeks, the once thriving city became a ghostly shell of its former self. Abandoned buildings stood as silent witnesses to the horrific events that had unfolded. The city's name is now synonymous with tragedy and deceit, evoking dread and sorrow in the hearts of those who dared speak of it. Fear had gripped the handful of survivors, haunting their every step. The truth remained obscured, buried beneath layers of deception and political manipulation. Those who had lost loved ones struggled to find closure, haunted by unanswered questions and a sense of injustice that refused to dissipate. As time passed, the city's tale grew into a cautionary legend, retold by networks trying to cash in on the viewership and vlog girls who recounted the horrible events while putting on makeup. The citizens who perished in the blaze were mourned, their sacrifice remembered only by their families. The wealthy escapees remained elusive, unbothered by any sense of guilt, living their lives in opulence. With time, the story was overshadowed and forgotten by other distractions and injustices, all of it being nothing but bread and circus. Bread and circus.